The courtroom erupted with tension as a shocking development unfolded in the ongoing case surrounding Foolio's murder. Sources report that the female suspect, already facing serious charges, decided to cooperate with authorities in a move that has sent shockwaves through the community. According to insiders, she provided detailed testimony implicating the other 4 male suspects allegedly involved in the crime, turning the entire case on its head. For months, the investigation had been painstakingly pieced together, with authorities struggling to get concrete evidence linking all the accused. Witnesses, surveillance footage, and digital records provided fragments of the story. But the female suspect's sudden decision to snitch introduced, quote, critical new leads that could change the trajectory of the trial entirely. Courtroom observers described the scene as electrifying, with murmurs of disbelief and tension cutting through the air as she revealed names, details, and connections that no one expected to hear publicly. This revelation has far-reaching implications. Not only does it affect the legal strategy for all defendants, but it also has fans and followers of the case speculating about motives, alliances, and potential plea deals. Questions abound. Did she act out of fear, self-preservation, or remorse? How will the accused respond to these explosive allegations? And what does this mean for the timeline of the trial and potential sentences? The fallout from this courtroom revelation is only beginning. Social media, forums, and news outlets are buzzing with speculation, analysis, and intense debate. Every angle is being dissected, and the suspense surrounding this case has never been higher. The courtroom was thick with tension as spectators, media, and family members waited for the next turn in the trial surrounding Foolio's murder. What was initially expected to be a routine hearing quickly turned into one of the most explosive moments of the case. The female suspect, already facing significant charges, chose this moment to reveal critical information that authorities had been desperately seeking, information that implicated the other 4 male suspects allegedly involved in Foolio's death. Observers in the courtroom described the scene as electric. As she spoke, the air seemed to thicken with disbelief and shock. For months, investigators had been piecing together fragmented evidence, including witness statements, surveillance footage, and digital communications. But nothing had provided a complete picture of the conspiracy that led to Foolio's tragic death. Her confession brought all of these threads together, creating a narrative far more detailed and revealing than anyone had anticipated. According to sources close to the trial, the female suspect meticulously recounted how the plan was executed, what each male suspect's role was, and even how tensions escalated prior to the fatal incident. The level of detail caught everyone off guard. Law enforcement officials were reportedly both shocked and relieved to finally hear a coherent account that connected multiple pieces of evidence. It was a turning point that promised to shift the trajectory of the case dramatically. Courtroom reactions were immediate and intense. The families of the accused sat in stunned silence, whispering to each other as the details unfolded. Some spectators gasped audibly at the revelation, while others held their heads in disbelief. For the female suspect herself, her demeanor appeared calculated yet anxious. She seemed fully aware that her testimony could dramatically alter her legal situation, potentially offering a pathway to a plea deal or reduced sentencing in exchange for cooperation. Legal analysts watching the trial noted that her decision to snitch on the 4 male suspects could have far-reaching consequences. In cases like this, cider testimony often becomes the linchpin that prosecutors rely upon to secure convictions against co-conspirators. By providing specific names, timelines, and sequences of events, she not only strengthened the case against the men, but also risked making herself a primary target for retaliation. Should the court proceedings have played out differently? Investigators revealed that her cooperation also provided insight into previously unknown motives behind the crime. According to sources, disputes over money, loyalty, and personal grievances had all played a role. And her testimony painted a picture of escalating tension that ultimately led to Foolio's death. The female suspect's willingness to lay bare these details in court demonstrated a level of strategic thinking and self-preservation, and underscored the complexity of the case beyond the violent act itself. The public reaction was swift. Once news of her courtroom confession spread, social media platforms exploded with speculation and debate. As fans, community members, and true crime enthusiasts dissected every aspect of the situation, many focused on the audacity of the confession itself, praising the courage it must have taken to testify against accomplices in such a high-profile case. Others questioned her motives, wondering if fear of a harsher sentence had forced her hand, or if she was attempting to manipulate the narrative for personal gain. Inside the courtroom, prosecutors seemed to seize the moment, quickly adjusting their strategy to incorporate her testimony into their broader case. Her account not only provided a detailed reconstruction of the events, but also offered prosecutors leverage when negotiating with the male suspects, who were still maintaining their innocence publicly. Defense attorneys, on the other hand, were caught off guard, scrambling to respond to this sudden influx of damning information that threatened to dismantle their carefully constructed narratives. Despite the drama, law enforcement emphasized the significance of her cooperation. Authorities had long suspected that all 5 individuals played roles in Foolio's death, but concrete evidence linking them together had been elusive. With her testimony, investigators could now connect multiple dots, corroborate witness accounts, and potentially secure convictions in a case that had captured national attention. Her cooperation marked a pivotal moment in the investigation, signaling a possible endgame for a case that had dragged on with uncertainty and unanswered questions. Sources close to the female suspect indicated that her decision to snitch was not made lightly. Reports suggest that she had been grappling with moral and legal considerations, weighing the risks of retaliation against the potential benefits of cooperating with authorities. In court, her demeanor reflected this tension, calm yet deliberate, aware that every word she spoke carried weight for herself and for the 4 men implicated. Every detail, from timing to sequence of events, was delivered with precision, making it clear that she was intent on ensuring her testimony had maximum impact. The courtroom drama didn't end with her testimony alone. Her revelation sparked a flurry of immediate responses from the accused, legal teams, and even spectators who had been following the case closely. Family members of the male suspects reacted with visible shock and, in some cases, outrage, whispering anxiously as the gravity of her statements sank in. Some of the men were reportedly seen exchanging nervous glances, their confident exteriors cracking under the pressure of the unfolding revelations as the day progressed. The female suspect's courtroom testimony became the central focus of news coverage and online discussions. Legal analysts dissected every detail, predicting how her cooperation might influence the outcomes of the trial and the potential sentences of all 5 individuals involved. Discussions revolved around credibility, motives, and the intricate legal maneuvers likely to unfold as the case progressed. By the end of the day, it was evident that the female suspect's decision to testify against the 4 male accomplices had fundamentally changed the landscape of the trial. What began as another court session had transformed into a defining moment, one that would shape public perception, legal strategy, and the fates of everyone involved. For spectators, fans, and the broader community, the revelation was both shocking and compelling, a reminder that in high-profile criminal cases, even a single confession can ripple outward, changing everything in its path. The courtroom atmosphere remained tense in the days following the female suspect's explosive testimony. Her decision to implicate the 4 male suspects had not only shifted the focus of the trial, but also, for the 4 male suspects, her decision to testify against them was catastrophic. Courtroom observers noted the tension in their reactions, shifting eyes, clenched jaws, and subtle gestures that betrayed their anxiety. Their defense attorneys scrambled to adapt, urgently seeking ways to counteract the impact of her statements. Many believed that her testimony would become the cornerstone of the prosecution's case, leaving the defense with few options beyond attempting to discredit her credibility or challenge the accuracy of her account. The motives behind the crime began to take center stage in courtroom discussions. According to the female suspect, disputes over money, influence, and personal grudges had fueled the deadly chain of events. She described how tensions among the group escalated over weeks, culminating in a confrontation that spiraled out of control. Her testimony didn't shy away from naming names, detailing interactions, and exposing the hidden dynamics that had been masked by public appearances and vague reports. Outside the courtroom, the public reaction was immediate and intense. Social media platforms exploded with speculation, theories, and commentary. Fans dissected every snippet of her testimony, analyzing facial expressions, tone, and the implications of her revelations. Many debated the authenticity of her motives, questioning whether fear of severe sentencing or a strategic attempt to negotiate a plea deal had prompted her cooperation. Others focused on the broader impact of her testimony, highlighting how it could reshape the criminal justice process for the remaining suspects. Law enforcement officials confirmed that her cooperation had accelerated investigative efforts by providing precise timelines, locations, and interactions. She allowed authorities to corroborate other evidence quickly, narrowing down inconsistencies and identifying new leads. Investigators stressed that her willingness to testify was a significant turning point, making it more likely that all involved parties could face appropriate legal consequences. The courtroom itself became a stage for both legal strategy and psychological maneuvering. Prosecutors used her statements to build a compelling narrative for the jury, emphasizing the sequence of events, motives, and responsibilities of each accused individual. Defense teams, meanwhile, attempted to cast doubt on her credibility, questioning why she had waited to provide this information and whether her statements were influenced by self-preservation. The tension between the two sides was palpable, with every word, gesture, and pause analyzed by spectators and media alike. Family members of the victims and suspects were visibly affected by the testimony. Some struggled to contain their emotions, while others whispered quietly to each other, processing the gravity of the revelations. For Foolio's family, the female suspect's cooperation was a bittersweet moment, a potential path toward justice, but also a painful reminder of the violence that had claimed a loved one. Observers noted that the courtroom had become more than a venue for legal proceedings. It was a place where raw human emotions collided with the harsh realities of crime and accountability. Behind the scenes, the female suspect's motivations continued to draw attention. Legal analysts speculated that her cooperation could result in a reduced sentence, citing precedent in cases where insiders provide critical testimony against co-conspirators. Her lawyers reportedly advised her on the strategic value of speaking openly while maintaining control over how much information was disclosed publicly. This delicate balance between legal advantage and personal safety added another layer of complexity to an already explosive situation. As the trial progressed, additional evidence surfaced, much of it corroborating her account. Investigators were able to match her statements with phone records, witness testimony, and even digital footprints, strengthening the prosecution's case. The level of alignment between her testimony and independent evidence suggested a high degree of reliability, making it increasingly difficult for the defense to mount a successful challenge. Courtroom observers noted that this alignment also raised questions about the other suspects' possible involvement, casting a shadow of doubt over their previously confident claims of innocence. Media coverage intensified, highlighting the broader implications of the case. News outlets focused on the sensational aspects, a female suspect turning on her accomplices, explosive courtroom testimony, and the unraveling of a complex criminal plot. But analysts also emphasized the procedural significance. Cases like this demonstrate how insider testimony can pivot a legal strategy, influence jury perception, and expedite justice, all while maintaining the integrity of the investigative process. Community reactions were equally intense. Local residents, fans of the case, and true crime enthusiasts debated motives, alliances, and the credibility of each party. Conversations centered on not only the legal implications, but also the human drama, the choices, loyalties, and fears that drive individuals to participate in criminal activity and, ultimately, to confront the consequences. Social media amplified these discussions, providing a platform for both speculation and analysis. Despite the heightened attention, authorities emphasized the importance of focusing on facts over sensationalism. Investigators reiterated that the female suspect's testimony was only one part of a larger puzzle, and that corroborating evidence, witness accounts, and forensic data were equally critical to securing justice. Law enforcement officials urged the public to recognize the gravity of the situation and the meticulous work required to ensure a fair and accurate legal outcome for the female suspect. Herself. The days following her testimony were fraught with uncertainty. While her cooperation provided potential legal advantages, it also exposed her to scrutiny and risk. Legal teams worked diligently to protect her safety, coordinate witness protection measures if necessary, and ensure that her disclosures were handled appropriately. Her decision to testify was not only a legal maneuver, but also a courageous, high-stakes choice that could reshape the lives of everyone involved. By the end of Part 2, it was clear that the female suspect's courtroom revelations had fundamentally altered the trajectory of the case. Her willingness to expose the actions of the four male suspects brought clarity to a convoluted investigation, provided prosecutors with critical evidence, and forced the defense to reevaluate their strategies. More importantly, it highlighted the complexities of human behavior, loyalty, and self-preservation in high-stakes criminal situations. The days following the female suspect's explosive courtroom testimony were marked by heightened tension, speculation, and a flurry of legal maneuvering. Her decision to implicate the four male suspects not only reshaped the trial, but also cast a shadow over every prior assumption investigators and the public had made about Foolio's murder. Law enforcement sources confirmed that her cooperation allowed authorities to refine their case, connect evidence more concretely, and anticipate the next moves of the accused. Inside the courtroom, the atmosphere was electric. The four male suspects faced the weight of her testimony, and observers noted subtle but telling reactions, clenched fists, shifting eyes, and moments of silence where confidence once prevailed. Defense attorneys scrambled to respond, employing every strategy to cast doubt on her credibility. Cross-examinations sought to uncover inconsistencies or motives that could undermine her account. But each line of questioning seemed to reinforce the gravity of her disclosures. Prosecutors, on the other hand, leaned into her detailed narrative, weaving it into a compelling account of premeditation, collusion, and motive. Her testimony illuminated the intricate web of relationships, rivalries, and disputes that had culminated in Foolio's death. She described meetings where tensions flared, discussions about loyalty that soured into threats, and decisions that spiraled out of control. Each revelation painted a picture of escalating conflict, exposing not only the actions of the accused, but the human flaws that led them down a dangerous path. The courtroom was a stage for raw emotion, with whispers, gasps, and the occasional audible reaction marking the impact of her words. Beyond the courtroom, public reaction was explosive. Social media platforms were flooded with posts analyzing the testimony, speculating on motives, and debating the consequences for all involved. Fans and community members dissected every clip, interview, and leaked detail, trying to piece together the full narrative. Many praised the female suspect for coming forward, recognizing the courage it took to testify against co-conspirators. Others questioned her timing, suggesting strategic motives or fear-driven self-preservation. Regardless of the interpretation, it was clear that her actions had ignited a nationwide conversation about accountability, loyalty, and the intricacies of criminal involvement. Investigators highlighted the significance of her cooperation in real time. Previously unresolved questions about the case began to find answers, as her testimony provided a clear sequence of events and connections between the suspects. Her account matched phone records, digital communications, and surveillance evidence, giving prosecutors a coherent and credible narrative. Law enforcement officials emphasize that insider testimony like this is invaluable in complex cases, often tipping the scales toward justice. For the 4 male suspects, the stakes were higher than ever. Each faced mounting pressure as prosecutors built a case strengthened by her revelations. Legal analysts noted that her testimony could prove pivotal in securing convictions, particularly if corroborated by other evidence. Courtroom dynamics shifted as defense teams tried to anticipate every angle, understanding that the female